Right, welcome back to another game of Play Action Football. My name is Brian Hafferkamp. I'm the designer and creator of this game. And in this game, we're going to finish off our game between the 2024 Bills at Ravens. This one, a really good one, 35-34, Ravens over the Bills. As we head into the fourth quarter, this will be the start of the fourth. You can watch the first three quarters in the videos just before this one, so you can go and check that out. Just if you're new to this game, Play Action Football is a play-by-play football game that you can play in under 2 hours. If you play just with the team cards and you're not even worrying about finding players, you can play in about an hour and 15 minutes, maybe, just like a standard kind of long baseball game. So sort of changes the playing field. As far as football games are concerned, most football games play-by-play are going to cost you about 2.5 to 3 hours. So definitely a new take on this. We have several seasons available. You can go to clarkaddisongaming.com and pick up any of the seasons available. We have a couple from the 80s, one from the 90s, one from the aughts, and then the last two seasons of NFL football. So if you're playing modern games, we are committed to at least putting out the most recent seasons, but typically we get a couple of seasons out every year. I'm working on 1978 right now, and so that is a second season that will come out in this, hopefully in this calendar year. I'm not far away on that one. Basically what it is you roll off of these, the offense against the defense gives you sort of an advantage on each play. And you roll off of these play charts. So everything's set up here. So you have my penalties. These are all of our special plays for kickoffs and punts and what happens on interceptions and quarterback hurries and stuff like that. And then we have three different playing styles that you can use. So you can use a pass heavy, balanced, or a run heavy offense. And you can see here, these are the plays. This is the offensive role and the defensive role. And then what effect, when you sort of find them on this matrix, what effect do each of these have in terms of affecting the role that's here? So, and then overall, you have a rating between these two that's sort of a strength of team or against the league strength rating. So the Bills are on 2 on offense. The Ravens are -1. That gives them Bills a +1 roll on every single roll. The Ravens offense is a 3 and the Bills defense is a -1. The -1 just means that they're basically sort of in the meaty middle of the league. And then the +3 is the best you can do on offense. +2 is second best. And then a 1 on offense is kind of that meaty middle of the league. So both of these teams really up there on offense. You can see they've scored 35 points apiece here in the heading into the fourth quarter. So the Ravens have a +2 advantage on every single roll. So if there's no play advantage, like between the play you run and the defense, whatever they run, then they get a +2 advantage on their roll. So a 10 becomes a 12. So you can see it's D6 +2 or D6 +3. So they'll get, on average, 1 more yard out of that. And all of these sort of build over 60 or 70 plays or however many plays that they run. Over time, that +2 is just going to wear out the other team. What you're hoping for is turnovers, and that's kind of what separates people in, or teams in the NFL anyway, is turnovers, big plays and special teams, sort of the luck of the draw in a lot of games, and that's how this game plays out as well. I'm adding in a few elements. You can see there are some formation cards here. These are really just to help distribute the ball better, to get different personnel on the field. You can see here a fullback would be on the field. That's not typically something that you would be able to get into the actual game very well. And so I just wanted to go with that. Different personnel sets. You get, there's some that have 2 tight ends. Here's a goal line set with 3 tight ends. So just trying to get more players onto the field, touching the ball, and you can see we have a player finder here, and I've marked them. You don't have to actually mark them, but they're rated by RB1, RB2, RB3, or RB1, 2, fullback, tight end 1, 2, 3. I need to do a better job of shuffling these particular teams around, which I'm also working on a defense. So for the Bills, they would have their offense here and they would have their defensive players here. We're going to have a whole set of defensive formation. So just kind of like what you would have in a Madden type football game, you'd have a formation against a defensive formation, and then the interplay of those two against each other is going to create this offense and defense effect. So it's just going to be another way to play the game. You'll be able to play the game as it always has. All the same charts will come with the game. You'll still have the offense and defense numbers here. You'll just be able to play with more depth if you want to. And it's a little bit more dynamic game when you have formations that you can constantly change, or you could flip out these formations. Let me see if I don't know what I did with the others, but I had a bunch of them. What did I do with them? Well, I'm not sure where the formations are now. Hopefully I don't whack the camera and knock it over. Anyway, I guess you'll just have to trust me on that I had a bunch of different formations. No, you won't. Here they are. So here are some of the other formations that I came up with. I tried to just find what are the most iconic or usable. So we have the pistol, where the halfback lines up right behind the quarterback. The quarterback's sort of in the fullback position, and definitely a kind of a running set. We have an empty backfield where you put the halfback out to the right, split the tight end. You have three wide receivers to the right, two to the left, and definitely a throwing down, but the quarterback is going to get the majority of the running plays. You have an old school pro set with fullback and halfback sort of split behind the quarterback, and then wide receivers on each side and a tight end. So that's sort of a classic 1980s type of running play. We have a 2 tight end set with a couple of tight ends, a halfback and a receiver on each side, sort of a 2x2 set on each side. This is pretty popular in the NFL now and good for running. And then the Dolphins back in the 2000s would run the Wildcat a lot with Cadillac Williams. And so you've got here, halfback 1 and halfback 2 are going to get the majority of the carries. This is typically just a running set where you have 2 tight ends in. You have a quarterback split out wide where you could sort of toss it out to him and he tosses it to somebody else, or you get an end around where the quarterback throws it on the run. There's a lot of different plays that can come out of that. But those are some extra plays as well. And then we have the goal line play where you can use that on goal line situations if you want to. I could be flipping this out depending on what kind of personnel I want to have on the field, or what kind of mixture of personnel I want to be able to touch the ball. And if you have a big time running back, maybe you want to put the pistol in and just have them run that. I'm sure, in fact, I know that Baltimore runs the pistol formation, so that's definitely something you could add in if you know what formations each team runs. They're your team. For me, Minnesota runs a lot of single back. They run some bunch. I'm sure they'll be running the shotgun or the trips. So I'm just trying to kind of get some different formations out there. And like I said, once I get the defensive formations, then these two will interplay off of each other, so that if you're running the pistol, it's going to have some advantages over a particular defense. And if you're running a shotgun, that's going to have some advantages over a particular defense as well. If you run a bunch formation against a base 4-3, you're going to have some advantages because you have 4 wide receivers who are eligible. If you run the I formation against a dime defense, you're going to have some advantages there because now you have a fullback and a tight end who are lead blockers and extra blockers theoretically. And they have two cornerbacks on the field, or two defensive backs who are extra. And so they've replaced linebackers or safeties with cornerbacks. So you have some inherent advantages there. And so that could be a head-to-head kind of thing where you just put down what formation you're in, and then you run your play, and there'll be some formation. This will be listed on the cards themselves somewhere, maybe out to the right. I'll scooch everything over and just have it out to the right what their advantages are against some of those different defensive calls. But right now we have those advantages here. So on a 4-3, if you run an inside run, that's going to be -1. It's kind of running into the teeth of the 4-3, but against the 3-4, you're running up the gut against 3 down linemen. So it's a little bit of an advantage to go there. But if they blitz, now they've added an extra player into the mix, and so it sort of takes away that inside run advantage. And so the game plays off of itself like that right now. All of those things are automated, at least the way I'm playing. You could very easily, if I just wanted to be Baltimore against the computer or AI, so to speak, I could choose my individual offensive or defensive plays and then just roll the dice for the other team. And that would work perfectly fine. Right now, I'm automating the formations. So I'm rolling these 2 white dice. And so this one goes to, let's say it's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you just kind of set it there. And then this would be the number 7 player. So you're looking at this row here. And depending on what play you're running, which still is coming off of this play calling chart, depending on what play you run, that's the player that's going to get the ball. So a 7 is going to, only a halfback 1 on the inside run is going to get the ball. Otherwise, it's going to be a halfback 2 or a wide receiver 2 or 3. So depending on what play you run, that's going to determine which player gets the ball. And you can see that these are sort of, you got 4 chances here for the wide receiver 1, 2 chances for wide receiver 2, 2 for wide receiver 3, 2 for tight end 1. So you've got some opportunities there for different players to sort of get the ball. Tight end 2, even tight end 3 on goal line. So just trying to really work out how can we get more players involved in the game. And then on the defensive side, you'll be able to do tackles and stuff like that because you'll have like their top 20 defensive players. You'll have the top 5 defensive linemen, top 5 linebackers, top 5 corners, and top 5 safeties. So you have all of their sort of main defensive players plus some stragglers who got into just a few games. So you have a pretty good complement of players. You could either choose who's on the field, and you could put a little block for each one, and you could do substitutions, and you could go the whole way. Or you can simply look at the player finder, and the player finder will sort of help you to know what player got the tackle or the interception or whatever it is. So, all right. Let's get into this one. So sorry about that. It was a kind of a lengthy discussion about where the game is going. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, by the way, click on subscribe. If you are a subscriber, you'll be notified of new videos when they come out. And if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up. If you like Play Action Football, like I said, go and check it out at clarkandaddisongaming.com. There's a free demo in the if you go to the top of the page and click on Play Action Football, you'll see all the seasons available. You'll also see the demo. The demo is free. It's the 2023 playoffs, or at least the last 4 teams. So you can play out the NFC and AFC Championship and the Super Bowl. It'll give you a good look at the game. The cards as they're presented now look like this. So this is the 2024 Seahawks. You can see you get their offense and defensive starters. You get their kicking, their pass rush ratio, and then these are used for finding the top players who ran the ball, received the ball, made a sack or an interception, similar to what we have here. So most of this information is present on this card. It's just when we get to the players section, it's a little more built out right here. So let's do this. This game is going to take about 45 minutes for me to play. That should be right at about what I have. And so hopefully it doesn't go to overtime or anything, but we got a close one. And it will be Ravens ball at the Bills 25, 1st and 10, and we are starting the fourth quarter. We're going to continue with the run-heavy offense for the Ravens as they're trying to burn some clock, and they're quite a running team. So you can see here their run-pass ratio 55 or 54-46. So one of the heavier running teams in the league. We get a shotgun formation, and it'll be a screen pass against a base defense. Buffalo runs a 3-4 base defense. So screen against the base is a -1. The Ravens have a +2 overall, so 2 minus 1 is 1, so that gives them a +1 advantage here. And 15 plus 1 is 16. On a screen pass is D6 plus 4. The screen pass is going to go to Derrick Henry. And when we look at Derrick Henry, we see that on a pass he has a +6. So D6 plus 4 is going to be 10 yards. +6 is 16, and that takes it down to the 9-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal after the screen pass to Derrick Henry. 1st and goal from the 9. On our play calling sheet, we have regular sort of plays on one side, and we have goal line plays on the other. It brings in a goal line defense. We can go ahead and switch out just so we have goal line formation. You can see here a lot of the passes are going to go to the tight end. Well, all the passes on the goal line, because that's what we have in the game. So no wide receivers in the goal line defense or offense. We get a 3. That's going to be the I formation. A 6 on 1st down is going to be a short pass against a goal line defense, and that's going to be 0, so no advantage off the play. It's a +2 advantage to the Ravens, so 9 becomes 11. 11 on a short pass is good for 4 yards. And then the catch is going to be made by tight end 2, which tight end 2 is Isaiah Likely. He's got a +1. So that's 5 yards on the catch. Takes it down to the 4, brings up 2nd down and goal from the 4. So it's a little bit of extra dancing around, but nothing too taxing on your brain. Another I formation look as they settle in. This is a medium pass against the blitz. Medium against the blitz is a -1. So +1 overall, 16 on a medium pass, D10 plus 8. The pass is going to go to tight end 1. This is going to be Mark Andrews. He doesn't have any run after catch. So D10 plus 8 is 15. Now on the way it works on a touchdown is we're at the 4-yard line. So we have 4 yards to the goal line, and then we have 10 yards for the actual the end zone. So it's 14 yards we have to play with, and 8 plus 7 is 15. So that's actually going to be called out of the back of the end zone because 15 is greater than 14. We only have 14 yards, and we got to sort of hit that window. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and goal as Andrews catches it with a foot out of bounds in the back into the end zone. So you got to kind of watch out for that. On the medium passes, you could certainly call any play that you want to if you wanted to run a short pass instead, because short passes are sort of that 0 to 10 yards kind of area. I let the dice decide because I feel like it has more variability. This is going to be an inside run against the base blitz, and that will be a 0. So that's a +2 overall. 14 becomes 16. D6 plus 5. And that is going to be a touchdown because it just is. So that's 7. And it's going to be Derrick Henry up the middle for 4 yards, and that'll be a touchdown for the Ravens. For extra points, we look here, and they have a 97. So 1 to 97, they'll make the extra point. We look at the purple die first. I like the team colors, so you'll just have to designate how you want to do which die first. It's a 36, so extra point is up and good. It's now 42 to 34, Ravens over the Bills and that's going to take us to 13 minutes left in the game, and we'll have a kickoff from the 35. So Buffalo will receive. We get an 8 on the kickoff. 8 is going to be 60 yards plus 3, so 63 yards down to the 2-yard line. And the return, let's just roll them both at the same time because we might need them. The return is a 9. That'll be 32 plus 4, 36 yards. Plus 2 is 38. So nice return there for Buffalo as they return it out to the 38-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10, Buffalo Bills. Buffalo not in panic mode. They're a score and a 2-point conversion from tying this thing, so they're going to stay in the balanced offense. And let's see if Josh Allen can lead them to a score. It'll be an I formation. Let's switch out our plays here. I formation, and we have a medium pass against a base defense, and now Baltimore runs a 4-3, so medium against a base is going to be a +1. Buffalo already has a +1 advantage, so that gives them a +2. 14 becomes 16 on a medium pass is D10 plus 8. This is going to go to wide receiver 1, which is Zay Flowers. He has a +1, so really it's D10 plus 9, and that's going to be 17 yards on the pickup. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Takes them across midfield, and it'll be 1st and 10. Sorry, that was supposed to be 20 to the 42. It's Khalil Shakir. So he has a +3. Oh, it should be to the 43. So, all right, I was just looking at the wrong team. So I formation again. As they line up, will they run it? No, it'll be a medium pass against the blitz. Medium against the blitz takes away that +1 advantage. They have a +1 overall. 12 becomes 13. 13 on a medium pass is 11 yards. That pass is going to go to the tight end. Tight end 1 for them is Dalton Kincaid, who has a +1. So that's going to be a 12-yard pickup. 10, 11, 12, down to 31 of the Ravens, and Buffalo getting it done in the air. Twin set. This is an I formation with 2 receivers left. It will be an outside run to the base blitz. That's a -1, so that takes away their overall advantage. 13 on an outside run is going to be a potential penalty, 6 yards, and it'll be halfback 2. Halfback 2 is Ty Johnson, who has a +1, so 7 yards. Let's see about the penalty. A 9, there will be a penalty. It'll be a defensive post-snap penalty. So let's give them the 6 yards. That's down to or 7 yards, down to the 24. And we have to roll for the penalty. Defense, post-snap on a rushing play. That's going to be a 5-yard incidental face mask, which will give them another 5 yards down to the 19. So it'll be 1st and 10 on that pickup. So it was 7 yards plus 5, that's 12. And that gets the ball down to the 19 as the Bills are driving in this one. We have a trips formation. So 3 receivers right, 1 receiver left. And it will be 1st and 10. This is a short pass against the base defense. Short against the base is going to be a -1, so it takes away their advantage. So 10 on a short pass is D6 plus 1, and it will be to wide receiver 3. Wide receiver 3 is Mac Hollins, who has a 0. So D6 plus 1 is a 2-yard gain, and that goes to the 17-yard line with 10:45 left. Buffalo has 2nd down and 8. Twins again. Uh-oh. Twins formation again. 2nd down. This is going to be a short pass against the base defense. Another -1. So a 9 on a short pass is going to be D6, so it'll be a gain between 1 and 6 yards, basically. It'll be wide receiver 3 again, so they're going to hit Hollins for 5 more yards. That takes it down to the 12. That'll bring up third down and short with 10:15 left in the game. So third down and 1, 2, 3. And let's see if they can convert into the trips offense. Third and short. This is a screen pass against the blitz. Good call. Screen against the blitz is going to be a +2. Goes with their +1, so that's +3. So 12 becomes 15. 15 on a screen is going to be good for 6 yards. The screen pass goes to wide receiver 3, so back to Hollins. No extras on the run after catch. So 6 yards takes them down to the 6-yard line, and it'll be first and goal from the Baltimore 6. As good response here from Buffalo. First and goal from the 6. They're going to line up in a single back formation. Spread them out just a little bit. 4 is going to be an inside run against a base blitz. Inside against the blitz is a -2, so they're going to be overall -1. 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 on an inside run is just 2 yards. And it'll be halfback 1, who is James Cook. He doesn't give any extra, so it'll be just 2 yards on the game. Brings up second down and goal from the 4. And we are closing in on 9 minutes to go in this one. Buffalo scores are going to need to try for the 2-point conversion. Second down play, this will be an inside run against a goal line defense. That's a -2, so that makes them -1 overall. 14 on an inside run is D6 plus D6. Sorry, 13 is still the same thing, D6 plus D6. It's Cook up the middle. We're going to roll these and add them. That's a 10-yard gain, and we only needed 4, so that's going to be a touchdown, as it's 42-41 now, and we're going to need to run a play for the 2-point conversion. So let's go and do that. I think they run it from the 2, something like that. We have a twins formation, so they line up with the I formation. We're going to use the 4th down and short plays. So 4th down and 1 to 5 seems to be a good one for the goal line. This will be a medium pass. So they drop back out of this. A little play action against the goal line defense. So medium against the goal line is a +2. That gives them a +3 overall. 13 becomes 16. 16 on a medium pass is D10 plus 8. Remember, they only have 12 to work with, so we'll see if this is going to go out of the back of the end zone. D10 plus 8. That's a 3. So 11 yards. They had 12 to work with, and it's going to be the tight end 2, which is Dawson Knox, in the back of the end zone, tiptoes and dances around and makes the catch for the 2-point conversion. No time comes off the clock, but they do make a play. So nice throw by Josh Allen. Nice catch by Knox, the tight end, and that ties up the game at 42. So a barn burner here is what they say where I grew up. So we got a real barn burner. And 42 apiece. Let's see if the Ravens have a championship drive in them here. Most likely 1 or 2 drives for each team left in this one. It will be a 1. Excuse me, 1 is 65 yards. 65 yards, down to the goal line. And a 1 on the return, just D6 or D 10 yards plus 5. So 15 yards on the return. Takes it out to the 15. So not great field position here for the Ravens. 8.5 minutes left in this one, and let's see if they have a big drive in them. They're going to go back to the run-heavy offense and see if they can just take off some time, run the ball down the field, get a field goal or a touchdown. That's what they're hoping for. We got trips to the right. This is going to be a screen pass against the blitz. Screen against the blitz is going to be a 0, so they retain their +2 advantage. 8 becomes 10. 10 on a screen is just a D6. Receiving the screen, this will be a tight end screen over the middle. That's going to be Mark Andrews, who doesn't have any extra yak yardage, so that'll be a pickup of 5. So Andrews can't quite break away, and they get it out to the 20. 2nd and 5. It'll be a bunch formation with 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 2 is going to be a medium pass against the nickel defense. So medium against the nickel is a -1. That gives them a +1 advantage overall. 13 on a medium pass is good for 11 yards. That medium pass is going to go to wide receiver 3, who is Nelson Aguilar. He has a +1, so 12 yards on the gain. 10, 11, 12 takes it out to the 32, and that'll be 1st and 10 with 7.5 minutes left in this one. The hometown crowd urging them on into the bunch formation again. This will be a medium pass against the blitz. Medium against their blitz is a -1, so they carry a +1 advantage. 14 becomes 15 on a medium pass, D10 +7. And that's going to go to wide receiver 1, Zay Flowers. He'll have an extra +1. So that's 10. +1 is 11, and that takes the ball out to the 43. Nice pitch and catch for Lamar Jackson to Zay Flowers. Another 6. This is a Twins. First down play, outside run to the base blitz. And that'll be a -1, so that gives them a +1 advantage. 11 on an outside run, D6 +2. Derrick Henry gets a +1, so it'll be D6 +3. And that's good for 5 yards as Henry almost catches the corner, gets just around, and it's out to the 48. So 6.5 minutes left in this one. And the Ravens are driving almost to midfield. Bunch formation again. This will be 2nd down play, medium pass against the base. That's into the teeth of the defense. That's actually going to negate the +2 advantage that Baltimore has. So no advantage on this play based off of the defense's run. 10 on a medium pass is going to be D10 +5. That pass is going to go to Zay Flowers again, who has a +1. So D10 +6. And that's going to be 15 yards. So 10 +5 takes it down to the 37 of the Bills. Big time play on the outside for Zay Flowers. And that brings up 1st and 10, I formation. Are they going to give it to Henry? They're not. It's a medium pass against the base defense, and that will be a -2, so no advantage. 8 on a medium pass is going to be incomplete. That brings up 2nd down and 10. I formation again. It will be a medium pass against the base, another -2. So no advantage there. 12 on a medium pass is D10 +6. Medium pass is going to go to Derrick Henry out of the backfield. He's got a +6. So D10 +10. And that's going to be good for 12 yards. So 10, 11, 12 out to the 25. That's a 1st down pickup. And with 5:15 left in the game, the Ravens are inside or at the Bills 25. Let's see if the Bills can come up with some sort of big play here. They're in the single back. It will be an outside run against the blitz. So a -1 makes the Ravens a +1 overall. 11 on an outside run, D6 +2. And that's Derrick Henry, so D6 +3. And that's going to be 7 yards down to the 18. And that brings up 2nd down and 3. Shotgun. 2nd down play. This is going to be a medium pass as they drop back against the blitz. That's a -1. So they carry a +1 advantage, 17 on a medium pass. That's going to be pretty good, but there's a potential penalty. On the play, we've got 13 yards plus wide receiver 2. So just 13 yards. Let's see about the penalty. 5 is no penalty on the play, so that's going to be good for 13 yards. That'll put the ball at the 5-yard line, and it'll be first and goal for the Ravens with 4:15 left in this one, as they have methodically driven the ball down the field. Their +3 offense is really tough to stop. They just have an advantage on basically every single play, unless you're the Eagles or whatever, which, you know, they would negate their advantage. All right, goal line defense or goal line offense. This will be twin set. So we should put our goal line in here. You could switch out plays on every play. You could just simply put down a play however you want to do it. I'm just automating that process. First down play. This is twins left and an outside run against the base blitz. That's a -1. So that means there's a +1 advantage. 6 on an outside run is 0 yards. Derrick Henry gives them a +1. So they're going to get 1 yard out of that. That'll bring up second down and goal from the 4. As Derrick Henry powers through a tackle and manages to get them 1 yard. 5 is going to be a bunch formation as they spread them out on the goal line. This is a screen pass against the base defense. Screen against the base will be a -1, so +1 advantage. 13 on a screen is good for 5 yards, and this looks like it's going to be a touchdown. And that touchdown is going to go to the tight end as they have the screen here to the tight end. He steps back, and they manage to get around the corner and get a 5-yard touchdown. So that's going to be Mark Andrews with the tight end screen. Crazy call, but it works, and they put it in for 2. 88 on the kick is less than their 97, so that's going to be a touchdown. So with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in this one, the Ravens take 5 minutes off the clock and score the go-ahead touchdown. They're going to kick off to the Bills, and let's see if Buffalo's got anything left in them. Switch this out. So kickoff from the Ravens. It's a 1. That'll be 65 yards all the way down to the goal line. And the return is going to be 16 yards. So it'll be 1st and 10, Buffalo at their own 16. Not great coverage, or not great special teams blocking there. Good coverage from the Ravens, who have a 7-point lead. This one coming down to the wire could be another classic. I formation, and it will be get the right play calling here. 3 minutes left. They don't necessarily need to go into the pass. Well, they do. They probably need to be in the pass heavy. So we have this run heavy. We have this pass heavy offense here. It's going to get you more passes. You can see there's 3 passes on first down, which normally there's more running plays there. And we got quite a few passes. 4 passes on second down. So they just have more passing plays called, so you're going to see a lot more passing than running. We have a short pass against the base. Short against the base is a -1. That negates Buffalo's advantage, so that's going to be a 10 on a short pass. D6 +1, it'll be to wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 2 for them is Keon Coleman, who has a +2, so really it's D6 +3. So that's going to be 7 yards on the gain. Out to the 23, brings up second down and 3 with 2.5 minutes left in this game. They have all 3 timeouts. So 3, 4, 5, bunch formation, 3 receivers right. This will be a medium pass against the blitz. Medium against the blitz is 0. And so that will be the +1 advantage to Buffalo. Not great execution. 7 becomes 8. 8 is going to be an incompletion on a medium pass. That brings up third down and 3 for Buffalo with 2:15 left in the game. Looking to make a play here. This is twins left, I formation, and it will be Third down, a draw play. Try to surprise them a little bit. They get them in the nickel. Draw against the nickel is a +1, gives them a +2 advantage overall. They need it. 9 becomes 11. 11 on a draw is just a D6. The person taking the draw is the halfback 1, so he doesn't get any sort of advantage there. So they're going to get 6 yards. So that's the best they could hope for there. Takes it out to the 29, and they get a little bit more breathing room. They get a first down, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning, as the clock will stop at 2 minutes. So everything from now on is only 15 seconds as they get into the hurry-up mode. Twins formation again. They also have their timeouts, which can stop the clock from moving a tick. So Twins formation. 2 is, of course, they're just continuing to run on a pass-heavy offense. But you never know when you break one. Outside run to the blitz, and that's going to be a -1, negates their advantage. 14 on an outside run is going to be D10 +2. That will be halfback 2. Ty Johnson has a +1 after contact. So D10 +3. That's going to be good for 10 more yards. That takes the ball out to the 39. 1:45 left in this one. Shotgun formation. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. This will be an inside run as they continue to run the ball. 1 against a base. Inside against a base is a -1, so they have no advantage. 14 on an inside run, D6 + D6. It'll be +1 because of the halfback 2. So 11 + 1 is 12. So 10, 11, 12 takes it to the 49 of the Ravens. That'll bring up, we're actually going to call a timeout there. So it'll stay at 1:45 as they try to conserve a little bit of time. 3 is I formation. And we have 5 on a first down. This is going to be a deep ball against the base defense. So deep against their base is a +2. So they have a +3 overall. This is going to be really good for them. 16 + 3 is 19. 19 on a deep ball is D10 +21. So they take a deep shot here. It's going to go to wide receiver 2, which is Keon Coleman. He'll have a +2 after the catch. So D10 +23 is what we're looking at. And that's going to be 28 yards on the catch. So 10, 20, and 8 takes it down to the 21-yard line. Huge play for Buffalo as we get to 1:30 on the clock. They're running down the field trying to get the play started. This will be a bunch formation. 6 will be a screen pass against the base. Screen against the base is a +1. So that's going to be a +2 advantage, 12 on a screen. D6 +2. And the screen is run by wide receiver 2, Keon Coleman, so that's another +2. So D6 +4. It's a 3. That's going to be good for 7 yards. Takes the ball down to the 14. Brings up 2nd down and 3. And they have 2 timeouts left. They need a touchdown. Field goal is not going to do. Back into the bunch formation as they get hurried up to the line. It's a medium pass against a nickel defense. This is going to be tough. That's a -1, so there's no advantage. Good execution, though. 17 on a medium pass is 13 yards, but we have a potential penalty here. Let's see who it goes on. 2 is a defensive pre-snap penalty. So they can take the play, which would be 13 +2, which would be 15. That is a touchdown. So it's a 13-yard catch. We have a medium play. The play goes to Keon Coleman, who has a +2 yards after catch. 13 + 2 is 15. We're at the 14, and that's going to be a touchdown. But there's a penalty on the play. So we're going to decline the penalty, take the play, and that's going to be a TD for Buffalo with 1 minute left. Actually, 45 seconds left. So With 45 seconds left, Buffalo scores the touchdown. Let's see if they get the extra point. They've already missed one extra point. It would be a heartbreaker to miss the extra point here. They do not. It's a 0-2, so that's up and in, and that ties the game at 42. I was just thinking about the possibilities there. We'll run the kickoff here and see if they run it back. Otherwise, I'm not playing overtime in this one. This was just to try things out, but a terrific game we got going on here. So I got to go anyway. All right. So kicking off is Buffalo. It's a 10. That's a short kickoff to so 60, 59, 58, 57, down to the 8-yard line. And let's see about the return. It's a 1, a terrible return. 10 yards plus 3 is 13, plus 8 is to the 21. And that's with 30 seconds left in this one. All right, so thought through, and I think we're going to try to go for the win. See if we can get a couple of big plays. We got all 3 timeouts. We got 30 seconds left, and let's see if we can get down the field with the Ravens. So we're in the pass-heavy offense. 5 is going to be a deep ball. That's going to go against the base defense. So deep against the base is a 0. So they hold their +2 advantage. 17 becomes 19, and this is really possible. D10 plus 21. On a deep ball, that's going to go to Zay Flowers, who has an extra +1. So D10 plus 22. And that will be 32 yards. Pow. 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, down to the 47, and we're going to call a timeout. So I was going to keep the clock at 30 seconds. And the next tick, it'll have to go down to 15, but keeps it at 30 seconds for the moment. And you're telling me there's a chance. Shotgun formation. First down, screen pass to against the nickel. Screen against the nickel is going to be a 0. So they have a +2 advantage on the screen. And 11 plus 2 is 13. That'll be 5 yards. The screen pass is going to go to wide receiver 1. That is Zay Flowers. So that'll be a 6-yard gain. Takes the ball down to the 41. That brings up second down. They run up to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to they still have a timeout, so they can, the only thing that's going to stop this would be, what would stop it? An incompletion, I guess, would stop this. So do they take the chance at an incompletion? I'll roll again since I'm making a decision here. So they have 15 seconds left. They have basically 1 play. 2 plays if they call a timeout. 1 play if they throw an incompletion. They're at the 41, so that's 58 yards with the kick. On a 50-plus yard field goal, they're 53. And you know what? They're going to go for the win. So last play of the game, they set up, and instead of running a play, they're going to go for the win with the kick. So after a 32-yard pass and a 6-yard pass, they're all the way down to the 41 of the Bills. They're lining up for it. 55, 1 to 55, and they're going to win this one. We're going to read the purple die first. And the kick is up, and it is no good as a 67. It sails wide left, and that is going to be your ball game. We're going to leave it tied at 49. Otherwise, normally you go to whatever the rules you want to add in for end of game. If you want to do a sudden death or however you want to do it, you can play by the actual NFL rules. I think I have the NFL rules in the game guide for overtime games, but you could play a sudden death, overtime, first to score, or whatever era of overtime you want to play, feel free to do that. So this one's going to end in a tie. It's a little bit like kissing your sister was what they said whenever I was growing up. And so we get a tie between these two great teams. So Buffalo scores with about 3 minutes left in the game. The Ravens, no, they score with 45 seconds left. The Ravens get all the way down the field, enough for a field goal try, and they miss just wide left. So this one ends 49-49 for me. Again, just adding in and trying out these new formation cards. The next time you see this game, there will be defensive formation. There'll be defensive formation cards. And then these two things will be interacting and playing off of each other, a la the way these two play off of each other here. So you'll have some effects there. Working on 1978, you can see I created some playing cards that are very similar to this, but just have all of the baseline information there with none of the players. You can see the difference there between this and that. So basically just remove the players and then left all of the team information, and that's just kind of where it is. You could, if you wanted to play with the players, you're still going to get that bigger card, but if you didn't care about assigning stats or anything like that, you could just have these smaller cards. These are going to come on like 2 or 3 sheets of paper, so a little bit less to cut out and keep track of. They're a little bit smaller. You can see here, this is the whole season, so everybody's here for the 78 Rams, +2, -2, solid. And New England, +3 on offense. You've seen what +3 on offense does, but they ran the ball a lot. And I don't know, did they have, I don't know who they had running the ball. Falcons, good on defense, but not on offense. And the Bears, same thing. Cowboys, great at everything, top of the class. And Baltimore, bad at everything and ran the ball a lot. So you have these team cards here that you could use for that. So I'm going to include that into that set. I'll probably reintroduce those into the other older seasons as well, just so you have those. That's kind of a precursor to a physical copy of the game, which I hope to be able to get out at some point, which you'd be able to purchase physical cards a la On Base Baseball Pocket Edition. And those cards, I think, would instantly be the best cards in the market. The On Base Baseball Pocket Edition is some of the best cards that you can purchase. I mean, they're equivalent to the Pocket Pennant Run. So Pocket Pennant Run guys use the Game Crafter to sell Pocket Pennant Run. So it would be that quality of poker card that you would get for each of the teams. And then you would have maybe a booklet or something like that with the charts and stuff in it. There'd be some printables that come along with the game. That way you have files to be able to print things. At that point, I'd probably make some of these things available on the website as well for free. That way you could just sort of download the penalty charts, or you could download the score sheets and stuff like that. So if you'd ordered the physical game, you could get some of the game parts for free. That would be okay. But some things like this chart here, that would have to go into the booklet. You'd have to buy the booklet. So still working through what that might look like. I've got a lot of things in the hopper, so to speak. A lot of things I'm always working on. And so just stay tuned for those things. Just realize I'm working on all these things. I'm only one man. I have a full-time job and a family, and things don't come out quite as quickly as if I was retired. And maybe one day, if I get to retirement, then things will happen a little bit faster. I would have more dedicated time. But at this point, do my best with the hours that I have in the day, and just try to keep plugging away at everything until things finally come together and they're ready to go out. Producing seasons is easier than making whole new games. So I try to stay up with the seasons at the very least, and then put out new games. There's a new baseball game called Between the Lines. It's super fun. There's a new baseball game that is a career GM mode game that will be coming out soon, and I hope to also release that as a booklet. So you'll be able to play that game as a physical game. You have a physical copy of the booklet that you can therefore use, and that would be that would be a print on demand sort of book, but basically it's a generative game. So you start with nothing and you generate all the teams, you generate all the values and the stats that you use for the game, and then you play out the seasons, and then you do a full like GM mode with free agency and a draft, and you have to sort of decide like what players you want on the team and what players you're going to kick over into the free agency. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with that game, and you can 4 teams, 6 teams, 8 teams. Another gamer is doing 16 teams, so it's expandable to however many teams you want to run. But just realize, that's now 16 teams you have to kind of manage. But if you were playing with a group of friends, you'd be able to each take a team and work your way through a season. Playing the games is abbreviated. It's not quite just roll for the score, but it does take into account your team and the way you build your team and some things like that. Your pitching comes into play. So if you have poor pitching but great hitting, you're not going to be as good as if you have good pitching and good hitting. So it's kind of an interesting game. You play with money. I got to try to figure out some other things like other pathways to victory rather than just winning games, because you can build a good franchise and be fiscally frugal and things like that and kind of do the quote unquote right things, and you'll lose the game as it is now. But you should be able to win the game by staying within the bounds of your owner and stuff like that. So there's still some things to work out with that one. I know people are excited about it. I am too. But there's still a better place for that game to go. AIG Baseball is still out there. I haven't played that in a while. I keep thinking about it. And you can demo that one. Purchase not purchase, but download the demo. It's the entire 1979 season for free. It's carded. Everybody's carded. And it's got these little small cards that you can use. And that game is sort of a throwback to Status Pro. So if you like Status Pro, you'll probably like this game. If you like kind of classic dice games, APA and Strat, you'll probably like this game. It's got a couple of different modes. There's sort of an advanced version and a basic version that plays a little bit more quickly. You can play with or without pitcher interaction, where you could just play straight off of the batter cards, and that would be fine. But the pitchers do come into it for different plays like strikeouts and walks and home runs and stuff like that. If you want to check that one out, I've got lots of videos here. So just go to the AIG Baseball playlist, and you can see how that game has progressed and developed over time. I played out maybe 20 games or so, 25 games in the 1979 season, and most of that has been offline. But the game plays super smooth, realistic results, and it's just kind of a kickback, throwback to old school baseball games. It's based off of a D100 system, so there's a high level of accuracy there, and an interesting interaction with the pitchers that kind of is old school in the way that is thinking, not quite the interactions that I built into other games or others have built into their games as well. So go check that out. Play the entire season. It's there for free. Give me any feedback. You can send an email to clarkandaddisongaming@gmail.com. If you want to check out any of the games that we have, go to clarkandaddisongaming.com. I know that Jason Flash Football is starting to play No Huddle Football, which actually was the precursor to this game here. Play action football. So when you watch his video of No Huddle Football, you'll see there's a lot of similarities there. Now I've taken this one farther, but that was sort of the original of play action football, and then no huddle sort of morphed into this game. After players started playing it, and they're like, well, we can push this farther with the play calling and stuff like that, and it sort of became more than it was, which is great because I think people are looking for a game like this, sort of a medium play game, but play by play. So I'm very happy with that morphing, that changing, that transformation. But just realize that when you're watching that, you're sort of seeing a pre version of play action football. That's why it will feel very familiar. But it's played with a deck of cards or 2 decks of cards and just regular playing cards. And super fun. It takes forever to rate the teams and to make them because they're all individual, kind of like what I did with play action football in the beginning, where I rated or I manipulated this chart here for every single team. But over time, that's not a sustainable model. Not when I have other games. And we went to a single chart with the ratings. And so that helps things out. It helps to sort of figure out the math a little bit easier as well. And we can add in some different things like penalties and stuff like that, which are a little bit different. And so that actually freed the game by decoupling it from decoupling each team from the play results chart, freed up the game to bring in smaller cards to get more players in and some different things like that. So, and also I was able to create a quick play version of the game because there's a single universal chart. So we now have the simulator where you can simulate games. You can simulate an entire season or just the games you don't want to play. You can do that online or offline. So it allowed me to kind of free things up and bring some other things into play action football to make it better than it was. So that's where that came from. And then I added in the cards. I like card games. I have another, like, there's a game somewhere on this channel that was like basically you're flipping the card. And as you flip the card, as long as you continue to flip in a certain range, you can continue down the field. But as soon as you hit some particular cards, you know, that's a punt, a turnover, or whatever. And so that kind of has like a super fast feel to it. It's a game that I sort of tried out a little bit, and I've never gotten back to it. But it's a really fun kind of, I don't know. Takes 20 minutes to play a football game between 2 teams, but it's a drive-by-drive game. And you just kind of drive your way down the field until you hit a certain snag, and then, you know, that's a punt or a turnover or whatever it is. So that was a super fun game. You'll have to dig a little bit probably to find that. I don't know if it's on this channel or the On Base baseball channel, but that was a while back as well. So I do like cards as a mechanism. I have a little card shuffler that I use for those games because it'll mess up your wrists if you don't. Because cards just require more shuffling, honestly, in order to keep the same ratios as far as variability and proportions and proper ratios. Dice, you essentially shuffle each roll. That's why they're easier for random games because you get that randomization every single dice roll. But with cards, you have to kind of build that in just a little bit. So they're a little bit tricky in that way, but a lot of fun and very portable because, you know, who doesn't have cards laying around? Or you can get them at a grocery store for $1 or $2 and just kind of easy to get those components. So check all that stuff out. Go to ClarkandAddisonGaming.com, buy a season of something, support your local small developer. We're all out here. We have just regular lives and trying to create games because we like to create games. That's why I make them, because it's a lot of fun. Honestly, the development process is a ton of fun. I like it. And yeah, I'm going to continue to do it as long as I have fresh ideas and continue to make games. So I'll wrap this one up. The Bills and the Ravens are finished at 49 apiece, and so quite a game. We had a 3 offense and a 2 offense, so neither defense was going to be very good at stopping them. The original game was 35-10, so the Bills scoring quite a few more than they did in the original game. but the Ravens defense just not strong enough to hold back. But 2024, there aren't a lot of opportunities here for incompletions. So, most teams are going to complete passes at about 65% clip these days. So there's a lot of completions. A lot of them are going to be smaller and, in this area, shorter, medium. Still not always easy to complete a pass here in the deep area, and the interceptions are also a little bit higher than, a little bit lower than in old school seasons where the interception rates tend to be a little bit higher, and the incompletions tend to be more in those seasons. All right. Again, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't. And appreciate you sticking around this long. Look for more videos coming up in the future. But this one is a 49-49 game at the end of regulation. All right. I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you again next time.